MCP servers have reached the end of line. MCP consumes a lot of context with descriptions of the servers and the tools, and you have to create a specific integration to provide MCP access to an existing service. What's the alternative? Use the tools that your agent already has access to. Make sure you're hydrated, put on some background music, and I'll show you what I mean. LLMs already have great tools for working with files, so if you need to integrate your existing system with your agents, don't create an MCP server, create a user space file system instead. There's no context overhead describing the server and the tools because the agent's already well trained to work with files. The model doesn't even need to load an agent skill. It's easy to prompt an agent to work with files, and you can take advantage of existing permissions and access control systems to restrict the agents to safe operations. Not only that, but you can use the integration in other contexts. So instead of writing an MCP server that you can only use in agentic workflows, you write a virtual file system that provides real-time visibility and control over your existing system in non-agentic workflows. In this example, I've used the macOS FSKit API to create a file system extension that integrates with Apple Music. Mounting the file system creates a folder that contains all the tracks and playlists in the library, which Gemini can read in anti-gravity using standard file access tools, and of course any other model and coding assistant tool can access these as well. It can even use shell commands like ls and find. Here I've prompted Gemini to find some tracks for a classic rock playlist. It reads the folder structure of the mounted file system to discover the contents of my library, and it does a great job choosing a playlist. Led Zepp, AC/DC, The Who. My dad would really enjoy listening to this, and let's not pretend that I wouldn't too. The file system is writable, of course, so I can prompt Gemini as well to write this playlist out to a file. I give it a loose description of the file format, which is much less writing and therefore much less context than the tool use instructions for an MCP server tool would involve. It creates the file. The file content gets propagated back to the Apple Music library through the file system extension, and if I switch to the music app, I now see my new playlist, and it contains all of the songs that Gemini curated for me. This approach of virtual file systems would work for any situation where you need to use the replace vibes with tools pattern and give the model deterministic access to and control over a stateful system. Replace vibes with tools is one of the patterns in the Chiron Codex interaction patterns catalog for AI augmented software development. They're all available over in the Patreon, so take a look over there for more information. Anyway, for example, you could, in software development, expose your debugger's variable view as a file system so that the model can change and read runtime values in your software. Or provide file system access to a view hierarchy like the document object model, and then the model can interpret and modify the state using standard file system tools. Or integrate your issue tracker as a file system, share a running Smalltalk image as a file system. Possibilities are really endless. I used FSKit in macOS in this example. You can use Fuse on Linux and other Unix-like operating systems, or Windows Projected File System or Docan on Windows. Some operating systems, like Plan 9 and the GNU Herd, have built-in support for creating user space file systems. In any case, create a file system instead of a custom tool to get a natural, efficient interface between your existing system and your AI agents, and an interface that's reusable outside of the AI context.